We are recording.
I said that with full...
I just saw just sheer panic come over your face. Oh my god.
It wasn't panic.
You looked at me and your eyes went dead. This is
I don't want... It's fine. I was gonna say I don't want you to make this a bit to open the show with.
It's called a cold open.
I know, we used to do them.
Oh. Music.
Movie versus movie. Movie versus movie. Movie versus movie. Movie versus movie.
We used to do that.
All right, great.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to our podcast. Are we still calling it Movie versus Movie?
Sure. I mean, whatever. We don't
Okay,
have a
guys,
name.
this is kind of like a pilot, but it's like a pilot of a show that
We've
existed
already done.
before, but it's not going to exist in the same iteration as it did. Hi, my name's Mary Ellen.
My name's Nick.
Oh,
Let's
you're
start
going to give a full name.
Oh no.
I
shouldn't.
never did.
Yeah, let's start again. All right.
We can just beep versus... Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I love that you have your notebook like open and ready.
Yeah,
Should we like talk about... We picked 2 movies to watch.
Yeah, it's okay. So the basic format, as it were, was that we watched 2 movies under a theme, and we pitted them against each other, and only one movie would come out of the cage of movies as the movie that defined whatever it is that we were talking about that week. And so it's Halloween time, so we watched 2 horror movies that are in the zeitgeist, and I think we have a pretty clear...
We already know which one, we like. And so
like,
it's last time we would assign a movie to each person, and then we'd like do it would like some of it was fun.
We'd do points and we'd yell at each other.
But we'd yell at each people loved it. We don't know if we're gonna stick with that. We're not. I don't think we're gonna do that. We're just gonna really freewheeling and fancy free this episode.
Yeah. So
yeah. You know when you're freewheeling and fancy free?
Yeah. Yep. I mean, no more explanation needed. I guess I think we should introduce the movies.
Yeah. So we're just going to talk about these movies.
Yeah. So we thought it would be really cool to take 2 horror classics, 2 horror masterpieces, and really dive into them. So
that's a bold label for these.
So we have chosen M. Night's Old.
Like you're on a first and second name basis.
Not after that movie.
What the fuck?
I mean, if you saw the same movie I saw, I don't know, we're on the same tape anymore. But we also did *Malignant*, which was very we'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it. And I guess like at this point we should just say spoilers for both these movies.
Yeah, we're gonna talk in a freewheeling, fancy-free sort of way.
Yeah.
Kind of going in and out of spoiler territory.
In and out of a fugue state.
Yeah, I mean it's sort of like, so if you were to listen to this and
this is the podcast that makes you old.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you stop listening abruptly, you will pass out for 10 hours, losing.
Yeah, if you turn it off, you pass out and wake up on a beach somewhere.
Yeah.
It's just because you've been assaulted.
Yeah, so let's start with The Beach That Makes You Old.
AKA Old.
By M. Night Shyamalan.
And so this movie, it was based on
if you were to give a pitch of this movie, like you were walking into the boardroom.
You just interrupted my summary of the movie.
Okay, I'm so sorry. Continue, M. Night.
Okay, so this movie, as M. Night.
Yeah, you're pitching this.
Hi, I'm M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah.
I've made a bunch of shitty movies.
Yeah.
I hope you're ready for another one because oh boy. This could be the worst of them all.
M. Night, I don't know. Are you trying to make us...
Shut the fuck up.
Oh, okay, yes, M. Night.
Have more cocaine
sorry.
while I describe this to you. I found a graphic novel that was kind of weird and I think French. And I think I'm just going to make it into a movie. But I'm also make it a little more weird and bad than it already is. How does it... And everyone's going to make memes. What do you think?
Money. Have it. Let's make this movie.
Thanks. I'm M. Night Shyamalan.
Bye. Yeah, no, this movie is not what I would call good. But I would also call it kind of
Bad.
the antithesis to fun.
Yeah, so here I went into this movie being like, okay, the reason we wanted to watch this movie in the first place is because at my birthday party, which wasn't really a party. I mean, we're in COVID times. It was like a little outdoor picnic.
Yeah, we went to the park.
It was very safe. Everyone was vaccinated.
An
Stop
old man
writing your
yelled at
letters.
us. Yeah.
No, he didn't yell. He was
But in like a nice way. He was like, I want to join your party. And
yeah,
we're like,
whose
"Oh,
birthday
okay."
is it?
Yeah.
Are the dogs invited? He
Oh,
was
yeah,
sweet.
he had
Shout
like
out
4
to that
dogs.
guy.
Yeah,
I liked him. If you have a dog, I'll talk to you.
Yeah, if you're an old man with a dog, Mary Ellen.
I've been abducted several times. Come pet my dog. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so I went into this movie. We had a real fun time talking about this movie and like just like the beach that makes you old. It was a giant meme. Everyone was riffing.
I would say also like
it's
slowly,
funny. It's
like,
silly.
Whenever somebody talks about this movie, it really slowly just devolves into the sentence.
Just silliness.
The beach makes you old. Yeah, the beach that makes you old.
Yeah.
And you just kind of repeat that back and forth to each other.
And it gets funnier somehow.
Yeah, it's sort of like a Meisner exercise.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, wow. Well,
it's sort of like a Meisner exercise.
For the actors out there, this is really for my LA crowd. And they're going to get it. And
do they do it on Barry at all?
They do, actually. It's where
really?
they repeat the words back and forth.
Oh, we'll just say like the thing on Barry. You don't have to be a little bitch. Yeah, so I went into this being like, okay, I don't think it's going to be a good movie, but I think it's going to be so fucking dumb that we're going to laugh and just have a real silly time. But then it takes these turns that are like, I'm really like physically uncomfortable with what I'm seeing on the screen. Like it started like bad, funny, good.
Yeah.
And then it went into like, this is like really disturbing. And maybe people like fucking dig that and are like, actually it's good because it's disturbing. Yeah. And I don't think it was like thoughtfully disturbing.
No, I think that it was,
like he knew he was like, this is some fucked up shit. But I don't think it went beyond that.
Yeah, so I actually think that the character most like M. Night is the doctor, who's just sort of like a person who feels a very certain way about a lot of specific things.
The doctor who's like losing his mind?
Yeah, I feel no, because he comes in the movie and he's like, and basically
I've got this
M.
sexy
Night,
new wife.
Yeah, I have this sexy new wife, and
no, I think M. Night hates him.
No, but M. Night, I think, because M. Night is also like does the same thing that character does to broad swaths of the population. He hates women. I don't know
what you're talking about.
He hates mental illness. Like the way he treats the new wife in the
Wait. So what you're trying to say is this isn't an intentional stand-in.
No, this is just
you feel like this guy's the closest to true M. Night.
Yeah.
I'm not really concerned with that.
What do you mean? Well, it's a fictional character. You don't have to be concerned.
I know, but I'm not like, which of these motherfuckers is most like this asshole?
No, I just think that like it just is baffling to me that he would make that guy the obvious villain because it is what he does in the movie and his movies in general, where he just like vilifies big like genres of people. You know what I mean? So it just feels like weird mental dissonance that he would do that and kind of self-insert unintentionally.
I know there are some like Ernest Shyamalan stands out there, but like I am like Sixth Sense, I guess is fine. I haven't seen it in a while.
Yeah.
But so many of his films rely so heavily on a villain with either a intellectual disability or a severe mental illness.
Yes.
And that is the source of their villainy and the source of their violence. All his mentally ill characters are very violent. Mm-hmm. And then we don't have to get into Split. Split was one of the most fucked up, like the ideology behind Split was so fucked up. And people are like, wow, that was the return of good M. Night. I'm like, it is?
I wish that my mental illness made me into a super strong metahuman.
Not only that, God, like, I guess I won't get into it.
Yeah.
But his views on women, like, that
really blew me away in this movie.
I feel like was almost more subtle than, it was very overt in some ways.
Yeah, it's just kind of weird. So I guess we should talk about the premise a little bit.
Let's talk about the movie.
So like
it's a beach that makes you old.
And that's it. That's it. That's
there you go.
Movie. But so this family, who are French, I guess, arrive.
No, they're not all French.
Well, the parents are.
She's French and he is not French.
But they both have like a dialect, don't they?
Yeah. I don't know what his accent. I guess his is.
But the kids don't.
What's his name? Garcia, something, gay, whatever.
No, I have no.
We know his name.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was in that Amazon show about running an orchestra.
Yeah.
I'm sure he has hold on. You keep talking.
So there's a family that arrives at this like resort, and the family's in trouble because the mom and dad are fighting and the kids kind of know about it. But the resort seems really nice, and it's a free resort, which seems weird, or they paid a very little amount.
Gael Garcia Bernal.
Oh, I don't know who that is.
I don't know him. He was in Y Tu Mama Tambien.
Oh, and Coco.
I was in Coco, The Motorcycle Diaries.
Okay.
And then a bunch of
been
like
in good things as well.
All of these people have been in good things as well. That's the baffling thing.
Another thing that I'm pretty rocked by is like, how many careers did this just stall at?
I don't think it happened.
I mean, you're looking at his movies and he hasn't done something since, I guess, the pandemic.
It's been like 6 months. You're like, where is their output?
I mean,
what's going on?
They
Who's booking them?
If they're not working, they're not relevant. That's all I'm saying here. Anyway, so they're a family. They're on a resort. They get talked into going to the beach that makes you old.
Oh, you're not summarizing this well at all.
And then
a family gets invited to a resort that they find a special offer inviting them online.
Yes.
And they're like a family. Yeah, there's tension between the parents. The kids know. The youngest boy is like precocious and it's supposed to be fun, but it's like fucking annoying.
It's not. We talked about this while we were watching. It's like
none of them talk like human beings.
Yeah, all the characters talk like aliens, like wrote the
one of the
script.
first lines is like, I can't wait to hear your voice when you're older. And it's like what mother says that to a child?
Like obviously setting up plot points, which is like very funny.
Yeah.
And also there was a moment that I still remember where the kid goes up to someone and goes, "Oh, we're fighting and I'm gonna go live in a condominium."
Yeah.
And it's like, why is this kid
like it's supposed to be
weird.
like he's acting out with dolls, the fights his parents have had, but it's like so like forced and dull and like undergraduate freshman playwriting shit.
Yeah, it was just very strange.
No offense to undergraduate freshmen. I'm sure you're all doing great.
Yeah. Well, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. Well, I'm sure you got a lot to learn too.
Yeah.
Everyone does in this world.
Exactly.
So they're at this resort and it's like the vibes are off immediately. And then there's a guy there. Oh, and the little precocious boy befriends a child who just roams around the resort because his uncle owns it. And they're like, oh, little besties, and they're cute, I guess. But then they also go up to adults and be like, what's your name and occupation? And I'm like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
And again, it's supposed to be like, he's precocious. And so this is why he does these things, but it's all very convenient for like plot reasons, you know?
It's like, oh, you're a police officer? Oh, you're a surgeon?
Right.
Oh, you're like just setting things up.
Which, of course, is like a planting for a later, payoff. But yeah, and so then one day the creepy uncle who runs the place is like, hey, so there's this
beach, and I think
it's better than this shithole.
Yeah, this beach is a private beach.
Yeah,
and I
he's
only
like,
tell the ones that I like to go.
Exactly. And so obviously it's like, and they keep giving them like, we made a special drink for you based on your stated preferences. And everyone's like, this is so fun.
But then they get if
somebody
we're gonna talk
and a girl
about,
has a seizure.
Yeah, we're not gonna if we're gonna talk about things that kind of don't make a whole lot of sense. I think that if the hotel guy drops you off, who's played by M. Night, and he's like, oh, just go down to this beach that makes you old, and here have a day's worth of food, and he gives you like enough food that you could last several weeks.
How does the food not get old? Because it's only people. They have a throwaway thing where it's like, it's just
it looks
us.
like our hair isn't growing, our nails aren't growing. It's not time. It's our cells or whatever. It's like radiation or something stupid.
I don't know. They're in a magnet.
Yeah. They're in a magnet.
You know magnets.
How they work.
And so we get like a little setup at the resort of like, we see a really like type A doctor surgeon man, and then he's got his like clearly like second wife who's like, shout the fuck out, Abby Lee Dag from Fear We Road. We love you. Love her. She's very funny. I feel
this is the other thing is that all of these actors really act their hearts out. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like they were really trying.
I feel like they were doing what was instructed, unfortunately.
Yeah. And it just,
Abby Lee I thought was great. She's playing like basically your parody like second wife model
who has a calcium deficiency.
Dun dun dun.
Which becomes like a huge thing later.
Yeah,
it's like,
Jesus. And then she has a young daughter.
Yeah.
And then we see like a couple, like the lady has a seizure and the guy's like, I'm a nurse. She's okay.
Yeah, and the doctor comes over and
is like kind of a dick.
Yeah, and shows that he doesn't really care about people.
Yeah, you know, surgeons.
Yeah.
We've all seen Grey's Anatomy. And others, I guess, are just around.
So they get to the beach and they find that they can't leave the beach. And then perhaps the best part of the movie happens, which is that we are introduced to mid-sized sedan.
We're introduced to mid-sized sedan in a transition scene before they even get to the beach.
Yeah, that's true.
There's
He's just
that
bleeding
weird,
out his nose.
and he just sees like white lady jump into the, he's black.
Yes.
And he's watching this white woman jump in the water and like the music is like
oddly
weird.
Threatening.
And I like didn't like that.
Yeah.
I didn't like that. It's like, wow, this
Look
guy's
at this black
bad.
man, he's menacing.
There was like, yeah, it was like weird.
Yeah.
And I know it's like supposed to be kind of a red herring and stuff because we're supposed to be kind of suspicious of him.
Yeah,
but then
but
we also
also
know the beach makes you old.
Yeah, but also calling him mid-sized sedan is also sort of just like making fun of.
Oh yeah, it's like yeah, it ends up being really fucking funny. But it's funny not in the way that Shyamalan intended, which is like hip hop culture is fucking stupid.
Which again is how he is like an accidental self-insert with the surgeon, because the surgeon's also
immediately starts being like a racist.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I'm suspicious of this guy. I wonder why. But he's gonna follow us home or whatever.
That's the fucked up thing. Is like, okay, we're supposed to be like, wow, he's villainous because he's suspicious of the black guy and that's racist. But it's like what's set up for us in that weird little fucking scene is like the movie wants us there. Yeah. You know? Like, and so I'm like, well, what the fuck? Like, I didn't like it.
The movie keeps doing things where it like tries to, I don't know. It's like it keeps showing you images and then kind of like punishes you for them, I guess.
By watching the movie. Yeah. I felt punished.
Yeah. Like going to so there are small children in this movie.
Is this what we're gonna talk about?
Yeah, it's weird. So then two of them are becoming teenagers at the same time.
Yeah.
They off screen have sex.
One, okay, but mentally, one is 6
years old.
Is the other like 7 or 8 or something?
9 or something like that. One's 9, one's 11. The brother and sister.
9/11.
Oh my god, it all makes sense. That's the twist.
The beach makes you old.
The beach. You know what? Jet fuel can't melt steel beams, but a beach that makes them old can make them rusty. Oh, and then they can fall down.
No.
Yeah, so they have sex off screen and she immediately is pregnant and like has this really gross scene of like mashing like in a childlike way like pasta into her mouth and like kind of a gross.
Yeah, because she gets really hungry because she's creating new life.
Yeah, and like food is coming out of her mouth and she's just getting very visibly pregnant.
Right. And so when all the adults see them, and by this point in the film, they are aware that
the beach makes you old.
Because immediately like an old lady dies.
Yeah.
The guy
well, the dog dies.
Oh my god, that was really
He killed the dog really soon.
Yeah, he killed the dog. Yeah. So there's a dog, obviously the dog dies, but somebody's like, this dog is dying.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, they're like, this dog, doesn't look so good.
They don't even show, like, they're like, this dog is dying.
And then one of them's like, yeah, but it's like a pretty young dog. It shouldn't be, like, having these problems.
They said that?
Yeah, that's like, it's a whole thing.
Old lady dies first, then the dog. So they're already like, oh no.
Something's
whack. They find a dead lady in the water.
Yeah.
And she becomes Bones.
Yeah, she does become Bones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which was... I wanted
to see the bones. He was very coy about the bones.
Yeah, they just kind of like shot through the bones.
Yeah,
right?
You just see like rib cage.
Show us the bones.
M. Night, show us the bones.
I wanted everyone who like died after that to just immediately become Bones.
Yeah,
just like Bones.
Before
they hit the ground, Bones.
Well, then he does the thing where you were very upset by this. So she has the kid. And 30 seconds later, the baby dies because it hasn't been touched in the equivalent of like a month or whatever.
Right. And so, because there's a thing with like infants where if they don't immediately, like that's why like a skin contact is so important, where if they are nurtured and held and shown affection, they can die. Yeah. And so they put the baby down on the towel for like, a minute, but that's like a lot of time. Because it's like a half hour is
it's like a
year.
Yeah.
So whatever math that is, pull out your calculators and figure it out for yourself.
Yeah, and so they're like, so 10 hours is like 20 years of our lives or whatever. And so then, so she has this kid, it dies. And then a very little bit later, she's like holding this wrapped up blanket of the child's body, and it's just like leaking out baby dust. And it has a bone sticking out.
That was the part where I was like, I literally turned away from the screen and was like glaring at Nick. And
Yeah,
I was like, I don't like this.
This is upsetting. Yeah.
Like a woman with the mind of a 6-year-old child holding her dead baby.
Yeah.
As it turns to ash. I'm like, this is, it's like, it's fucked up in a way that's not like.
It's not fun.
It's not fun, and it's not like I'm okay with like dreary dark shit, but I feel like it has to offer some kind of insight. And this just felt like dark, provocative shit that just didn't do anything for me.
Yeah.
That just made me mad.
Yeah, and
I don't like shit with kids. I don't like shit like any of that.
And then later she's like, I didn't really understand the rules of this beach that makes you old either, because
they make a lot of sense. So I don't know why you were confused. Like, we've all been to a beach that makes us old.
Yeah.
You know?
And there's like, but there's one part where where they all just start getting mentally very old. Like all the kids get mentally old pretty quick. And like she's like trying to climb out of the place.
That was also kind of confusing for me. I was wondering about this after, because it's like they still talk and act like kids. Like after the girl gets pregnant, obviously she doesn't really understand. And so she tells her mom like, oh, I just got really fat because I ate a lot. And then the boy starts being like, it's okay, I'll marry her. And that to me is not, I mean, like he's not a mental teenager.
Yeah.
He's like being a little boy.
Yeah.
But then later on, you know, children are much older and they are talking like their age. Yeah. And so I'm like, at what point? Because there's a lot about age that is literally your brain developing.
Yeah.
So that was really confusing to me.
Yeah.
I'm like, you can't have it both ways.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that maybe that's like the overarching like feeling behind this movie is like, you can't have it both ways. You can't be
a beach and make you old.
You can't have a premise that is the beach makes you old.
Right.
And also be
and
like,
then try to get heavy with it.
Yeah, look at this like the darkness of humanity.
Right. But I guess that's the vibe of like the original graphic novel, which is called like Sandcastle or something. Sandcastles in the Wind or some shit. The French.
Yeah, and
let me see if it's even French.
It is
French.
French. Okay. Yeah, I looked it up.
I don't need to disparage. Yeah, Sandcastle by Pierre.
What the fuck you doing, Pierre?
Come on, man.
Come on.
He's like, how can I get kids to fuck? And it's just like,
you know, the French.
It's just like I like, why?
Yeah.
Why? You know? And I guess the good thing is like it was consensual in between two
kids.
Yeah, I don't even want to say it. But like it wasn't an adult taking advantage of an adult with a child's brain. Yeah. That would have been beyond the pale.
Yeah.
I think the fact that it was like, you know, they're in the tent. We don't really see what they do, but they're like, we were playing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh. And then just the immediate like threat of pregnancy.
Yeah.
And like, I don't, and then the dead babe. It's just like, fuck off.
Yeah. And I mean, there are enjoyable parts.
Like when the people get old on the beach.
Yeah. And they die and it's really sad.
In the beach.
And one becomes
like
deaf and one becomes blind. It's like, oh my God, but they still have each other.
Metaphor.
Oh my God.
You know, it's
and
like
there's like,
the monkeys.
The monkeys.
Like See No Evil.
Is that what it is?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think they would have to have a third.
Yeah, that's true. There was no third.
Was there anybody who couldn't speak?
No, there wasn't. In fact, many of them spoke too much.
You might say all of them.
Yeah.
They should have just silently died.
So, but there are enjoyable parts. Like there's an actor in it who's the nurse who...
We loved him.
We love him.
Well,
I love him.
This character was the only one I was like rooting for.
Yeah, and also
the parents I was already annoyed with by like their second lines.
Yeah,
the children are weird.
Yeah, children are weird.
All the other families were meant to dislike.
Yeah, and he's just like a really nice
just
guy.
Just a nice dude.
A nice dude, and he's a nurse. Shout out to our healthcare workers.
Shout out to our frontline healthcare responders. No, I mean for fucking real.
And yeah. I mean, of course. But he also like his acting style, I thought fit what the movie is way better.
Broad.
It was broad. There were lots of gestures.
He got the line where he's like, I think this beach has some kind of impact on time. It's great.
It's so good. And like if the rest of the movie had just taken that tone, it could have been something really special.
I would have dug it. I would have been really, if it was like, I feel like it went back and forth from like camp to like let's really sit with like the humanity,
mortality, the darkness of the human soul.
And because it was too cheap to sell those moments.
Yeah.
And then it was too dark to enjoy the camp.
It was too cheap to sell those moments, and it was too expensive to really enjoy camp.
I guess. If you want to stretch
that metaphor.
Yeah.
No, but there are also other fun campy moments that I really enjoyed, like when the calcium deficient woman is in the rocks and she's like, "Don't look at me," like playing like some like witch M. Night's horrible idea of like what women care about.
Because this woman, as soon as she gets on the beach, starts taking selfies, and then you're like, oh, she's gonna die.
Yeah.
First of all,
her vanity
in some horrific way, and she must be punished.
Yeah, and
she does.
And there's a great moment where she's in the rocks. And the kids are like, who are now adults, are like, "Are you okay? Why don't we just like talk?" And she's like, "Don't look at me!" And she just starts throwing rocks at them, but also in a way that is just like very. I mean, just look up that scene. That's a very funny moment of like, nah!
But then it gets like
and then again he goes from this fun campy moment to like. And then all of her bones shatter and heal in horrible ways because time is going by fast.
Because your wounds heal instantly because the beach makes you old.
Yeah, and she's sort of like, like monster crawling towards them as her bones all break
and reform, and she's like a weird misshapen beast.
And it's just sort of like...
It's like, women.
Yeah.
That's what you get for being enamored with your own image.
You're pretty and you take pride in your appearance.
Yeah.
Oh, this is what you deserve. You're all your bones to break. Yeah.
And I guess, like, to be fair, she started like losing her mind when her child became pregnant and then also died like shortly after.
Yeah. But she wasn't there for that. She had already wandered into the rocks.
Yeah, she had already she was there for that. She tried to get... So the beach that makes you old, you can't leave the beach that makes you old.
Because you're like in a
once you
pressure
start
chamber.
Yeah, once you start trying to exit through this little like cave exit, you start to feel like your head is like you're deep coming out from like deep underwater. Yes. You feel like, whoa, you get like the bends basically. And then you pass out and then you stumble out of the cave unconscious and fall over.
Yeah.
And then wake up a little bit later. And so people at first keep trying to leave and then just like waking up on the beach together, which is pretty funny.
Again,
like,
very funny.
They'll go in pairs and they'll be like, oh.
And like, yeah. And it's...
So when her daughter her 6-year-old daughter is having a baby, she's like, she can't do this here. Yeah. We have to get help. And she just like passes out.
Woods, Not the woods.
The woods. You know the woods.
The woods on the beach.
They should have just left in the woods. The woods that make you young.
Obviously, M. Night kind of hates women in that way, and also like in the main parental couple, the guy is too obsessed with like the future because he's like a
that was sailor. So
and
fucking
she's
forced.
Too obsessed with the past but she's a historian.
Yeah.
And it's like so stupid. And then he also kind of like is like, this woman found out she has cancer and so she cheats on her husband because that's what women do. And it's just like, what the fuck, man? And like she's like, you don't have time with me. You're always in the future, and it's
really
stupid.
Silly. Yeah, like like in the beginning, he's like, statistically, it's unlikely. Because he has to. What is he? He estimates.
Yeah, he's like, hey, you have to pay me this amount of money in insurance because you're gonna die.
He's that guy or whatever. So he's like, again, no one talks like a fucking human. He's like, well, in the highest rate of blah blah blah, Anyway. Yeah, no, I mean, none of the characters are good or like well-rounded. They're all like, okay, trope,
And then the main evil guy, which is a schizophrenic.
Yeah, fucking cool.
Yeah, who's
so
also
cool.
They're like, okay, what if what people's fake idea of what schizophrenia is? What if that kind of person also hated black people?
Right. Was also a racist.
And also was a misogynist, because there's that weird little line where he's like, you should
go
put makeup on.
Yeah.
And
she's getting old.
His symptoms were weird too, because he would just like stop in the middle of surgery. He was like, remember that movie where this guy played this guy and Alec Baldwin was blah, blah, blah. And it was just like, what?
Well,
what is this?
Yeah. It is like, I've seen like some symptoms of like schizophrenia and have some understanding. And this portrayal just seemed really fucking shitty. I mean, the thing I was most pissed off about is in a lot of horror movies, in a lot of M. Night Shyamalan's movies, they make characters with mental illness violent.
Yeah.
Automatically.
Yeah. And he's like,
And he didn't even, and so it's supposed to be
didn't
that
have a reason to really.
Right. Well,
I mean,
it's supposed to be that he's descending further into
madness.
Right.
I'm going mad.
But he's like immediately violent.
Yeah.
Immediately violent.
Like one of the first things he does is he pulls out his knife and he's like, let's check
and just
this out.
stabs mid-sized sedan.
Yeah, he slashes his face.
And he's like, I saw you looking at my wife. And it's just like, fuck off.
The other thing that was really funny is that, or not funny, but it's just sort of confusing plot-wise, is that he literally slashes mid-sized sedan's face.
Yeah.
And then everyone's just like, okay, that was uncalled for.
Yeah, like, whoa.
They don't make him give up the knife.
Did that just happen?
Yeah. And then
I think they take the knife from him after.
I think it's after that. It's after he stabs.
No, I think he gets the knife back.
Oh.
Yeah, I think they take it away from him.
Finds a new knife. Yeah.
So
lots of knives on the beach.
But that's how they learn of the insta-heal thing. And then there's a fucking scene with her tumor.
Yeah, and they just remove a baby-sized tumor.
It doesn't. So the whole thing is they're all standing around being like, oh my God, we all have health issues. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And she's like, yes, I have a tumor. That was my impression.
Like French people do.
Yeah, I have a tumor. Yes. And she's like, but it's really small right now. And the guy's like, you sure? Because I can see it. And then it's like, we see like a bump on her hip.
Yeah.
And it's like, because the beach makes you old. It also makes
tumors,
the tumor.
It makes the tumors big.
Big. Big and old. And so we see it start growing. And then she just immediately like passes out.
Yeah.
Because it's like feeding off her body. And so they're like, we have to do emergency surgery. Luckily, they have a surgeon there.
Yeah.
Who's,
not
super
well.
crazy.
Yeah. But he's descending.
But her wounds heal immediately. And so they have to figure out. So they pull her, hold her skin
Again,
open.
gruesome for gruesome's sake.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's
like,
it's an interesting like body horror thing.
Yeah.
You know, I haven't seen that before.
Sure.
But then I'm like, well, what would be the result of somebody having their, like, a wound held open for 3 years?
Yeah.
You know? Like.
Yeah, there would be.
Okay, not 3 years, but like a month.
I mean, like, one bacteria is going to get it.
Right. Is there not bacterial infection?
Yeah. Like,
do the bacteria get old?
I bet the sand has lice in it. Like a sand louse is going to
But there are no fish.
Oh, because all the fish get old. Yeah. I forgot about that.
So there's no birds or animal life.
Yeah.
So does that mean there's no like...
And the beach might just be bone dust.
Yeah.
Yeah. It really makes you think.
So I was, as soon as they started doing that, I'm like, how good can that be for somebody's hip to be held open for a week?
Yeah, it also like doesn't matter at all. She's immediately better.
Yeah, they just and so by the time, so I like this part at least was like it was something I hadn't seen in a horror film, like a body horror thing, where it's like, oh, that's pretty crazy. Like it's like a timed thing because like this tumor's growing.
Yeah.
But it was just kind of like, okay. And then she's like, wow, that was crazy, you know?
Okay, that's like...
Was that her only health thing?
Yeah, that was her health thing. And so I guess we should talk about the kind of ending, which is that...
no, we are not there yet.
Well, the reason why they're on the beach...
Yeah, okay, fine.
...is that all of them have different elements. We're not there yet.
We don't have to be that stringent about it.
Yeah, they all have health things that make them
ailments,
test subjects for a pharmaceutical company.
Which this doesn't even make any fucking sense. Because so the whole idea is like, okay, well, the beach makes them old.
Yeah.
So we can see like the lifetime impact of a drug.
Yes.
And so like...
Which is not how you test drugs.
No, it's not how you test drugs.
You test it on like 500 people at once.
At least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it also brings into like...
So like you get longevity, but one person is not going to give you a fuck ton of data.
Yeah. What a fucking bad movie.
So it doesn't even make sense. And this was a Shyamalan edition. This was not in the graphic novel.
It was not in the graphic...
He needed a twist.
A twist, yeah. And I think that he went for like... And he does have a pretty interesting moment if it was built on in any meaningful way throughout the film, then maybe this could be a anti-capitalism sort of thing. Sure. But he just has like one line where they're all like, okay, a moment of silence for all of the subjects.
Yeah, like we're
gonna save everyone.
Yeah.
With our medicine.
Like these people are just like comically villainous. I guess I shouldn't say that because given like the state of the world and what people have done and how many people have died, etc. Man, it doesn't even make sense scientifically.
Yeah. And
they're like, we found like one woman, the one who has the seizures, doesn't have a seizure for like effectively like 30 years or whatever. And so they're like, we cured seizures. We're gonna roll this out. And I'm like, says who?
Yeah.
Like
it's so silly. And so then like the couple that was fighting kind of has a moment of piece
They're
together.
like, we don't even remember what we were fighting about.
Yeah,
anymore,
which again is
they're
sort of,
old.
yeah, which is sort of like, but it was like 10 hours
But
ago.
before they like resolve things, the evil schizophrenic man comes and tries to kill them.
Yeah, and he dies of rust poisoning.
Yeah, because a French lady thinks to get a rusty knife.
Yeah.
Why do you
a
think
lot of knives on this beach. Who brings a knife to a beach?
The knives that make you old. You brought a knife to an old fight.
This is a prequel to Knives Out.
My joke was really funny.
What was it?
You brought a knife to an old fight.
That
was a good joke.
Yeah, that's a good joke.
You talked over it.
Yeah, we'll leave it in. And then it's just, so they escape by like finding a code that the boys. Friends.
Yeah, but they wait till they're like 50.
Yeah.
They're both the two little kids, they're 50, and they're like, let's make a sandcastle together before we fucking die.
Again, calling into question, like, are they kids? Are they adults?
Right.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, tell us.
Yeah.
And then they
solve
a puzzle, like, because they were developing a little code with the little boy that they were friends with.
Yeah, and
he was like, my uncle doesn't like the coral.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, the coral makes you young.
Coral makes you young.
Yeah, so then they go into the water.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like they drown, but they actually get through this like exoskeleton.
Yeah,
of
he draws it out so long because actual Shyamalan is filming.
Yeah.
From get it?
Oh, how meta.
Get it?
Oh my fucking God, I didn't get it before. Holy shit, this man's a genius.
He's filming them the whole time for this study where they cured seizures.
Yeah.
He like is watching them in the water and he's like, they're definitely dead. He waits like 30 seconds.
Yeah, he's like, he checks his watch. He's like, yeah, I was looking out there for like a minute and a half. They're totally fucking dead.
No, they got out. Because if you swim through a specific little hole in the coral, for some reason you can get out of the magnet.
Yeah. The magnet.
The big giant magnet.
Yeah.
Place.
And then they reappear. And then because the boy at the beginning was like, what's your occupation and name?
They know where a cop is.
Yeah, there's a cop.
Yeah.
And then they go.
Because you know how cops are useful.
Yeah, and they're like
respond
universally good.
Yeah. You know how they get right on the case and will believe far-fetched stories.
Yeah, and it's also a black cop, so you know it's like one of the good ones.
That's become such a Hollywood thing to like for every cop to.
I mean,
especially black women.
It's the other movie too that we're about to talk about.
The really good movie.
The very good, the best movie of all.
Best movie we've ever seen in our entire lives.
Yeah, so I guess at the end they go on a helicopter and they're like, oh, there's the beach that makes you old. I guess we'll never go back.
They tell the law
what
the pharmaceutical company is up to, and immediately there's like they send out like a SWAT team.
Yeah, they're like, oh fuck, all these people are missing.
Yeah,
the amount of people that would have to just vanish.
Because like they explain it, the way they get out of it is like they hold on to their passports, and so then apparently they just like they go put back. The passports back.
Yeah,
because they manage their travel from like A to B.
There would be records of the fucking airline ticket. I don't know.
I don't know.
All right. At the end,
they'd just be like, all these people are missing.
In the end, I just felt like this movie.
Oh, there was also a list of all the names. Somebody who was on the beach wrote everybody's names in the group that was there.
Yeah. And so they were like, "Oh, these are," because there's a scene of like the cop being like, "Oh, this person's missing. What about this person?
Holy
this
shit!
Person's missing?
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
Oh Jesus Christ!
Do you think they're connected?
Oh my god!
I'm at this resort and this kid just
none of them are white women. We weren't looking for them.
Yeah, and so this is a bad movie, and people shouldn't watch it.
And it's bad vibes.
Yeah, it's bad vibes.
Watch if you want.
It was no, don't watch it.
Yeah, also if you're like into, I guess like kids being pregnant. But also like report yourself to something.
Yeah, that's not a good look.
It's you cringe. Fucking cringe, bro. Touch grass.
So what is your final thoughts on Old?
I was disappointed. It almost like ruined some of the memes for me. And that's probably the part I'm most mad at.
Yeah.
Because I'm just like,
the memes are fun.
The memes are
and
really fun.
And with context, you're like, this is
bummer.
Bad.
I mean, some of the memes are still really funny. Don't get me wrong.
Please send us memes.
Please send us memes. Yeah, some of the memes are really funny and like, but I feel like, it's like a bummer time after, because I just think of like the moments that, and like, honestly, like the shit with like portraying mentally ill people as inherently violent.
Yeah.
It's not only like
it's harmful.
Bad. Yeah. It's an actively harmful trope. Fuck M. Night Shyamalan for constantly doing it.
Yeah.
Fuck him.
It's not good, M. Night.
So it's not just a movie that I'm like, oh, I just kind of wasted some time. It's a bummer. It's like, wow, this is actually like harmful for society.
Yeah, and also, so this is why you should watch Old if you do watch Old.
Yeah.
If you're like, I want to gather a group of people, like fun people who are really enjoying
Go
themselves.
to a beach.
And you want to
get old.
No, and you want to just drain all of the fun and energy
and make
out
everyone
of
feel
this
just
group.
kind of icky.
Yeah, and make everyone just have to, like, if you're punishing some group of friends for doing something to you, get them together. Watch Old.
Yeah,
and it'll do that.
Yeah,
it'll do that. It'll do that.
In what situation do you need to punish your friends?
I'm not
do you
saying
need to talk
I need to punish my friends.
Is this why you showed it to me? You're like, Mariel, let's do a
chose
podcast.
Old. I no.
I'm
take no
glad I wanted to
responsibility.
watch Malignant first.
Yeah, this is the thing, is that we came off of Malignant, which is the best.
Riding a high.
I was ready to watch 5 more movies.
Right.
And then Old really
and
then we were like, we have to go to bed.
We're old.
I'm tired.
Now.
Yeah, I
the
feel
movie made us old.
So, and maybe that's the biggest achievement of the movie is that he
it's so meta. Yeah,
makes you feel as though you've aged.
Right, because you had to watch a pregnant child carry around her fucking dust baby, and then die.
Yeah.
Anyway, 5 out of 5.
10 out of 10. Perfect movie. All right, let's talk about an actual good movie.
Both these came out within months of each other this past year. Did you say that? Both these came out within months of each other.
Yeah, and so Malignant is a genuinely perfect movie.
Well, first, should we say, here's the thing.
I'm terrified of movies that are genuinely
scary. You struggled,
and I feel like I got a whole range of experience.
You did.
On this.
You really did.
Well,
here's
satisfying.
the thing. I want to say about Malignant. The first I heard of Malignant was like, oh my god, this movie's so fucking crazy. Did not anticipate that, and so I immediately spoiled myself.
Oh, we should say this right now. Old, I didn't give a shit about if people knew that the beach makes you old. But if
everyone it's called Old.
Yeah, but if you have seen Malignant and you didn't have this spoiled for you, or you have not yet seen it, just take a pause, go watch it before we talk about it.
What do you mean if you've seen Malignant?
Well, I mean, if you've seen you can stay because we've all seen it here. But
I'm sorry, you want to preserve the integrity?
No, because I want to know what that experience was like.
Yeah.
Like, was it because
I think from what it sounds, it was like fucking wild because you'd be like, "What am I watching?"
Because
can you imagine like the police office scene without knowing?
Madness.
It would have been different.
Just
I would have been screaming.
Also, but also, there's like, okay, so the movie starts with this like weird, it's 1993.
You were also spoiled, you should say.
I was also spoiled.
But I don't think I would have watched it if I didn't have the spoiler.
Yeah, but immediately I was like, how could anyone not
pull this off?
Yeah, how could anyone not think that this is what it is? Because like the first line of the movie is like, we gotta cut out the cancer.
Okay. Well, but would you ever predict that? What it was?
I don't know, man. I guess not, but it's just like thinking of okay.
So we should start. The whole movie starts with like they're in like this. It looks like an evil castle, but it's like
Hogwarts. It is fucking evil Hogwarts.
Yeah, but it's like actually a hospital where they're doing experimentations on children.
Yeah, and you think, oh, these are bad guys, and they're like, there's something going on.
Well, they are bad guys. They're bad guys.
I mean, like, so
if you're a doctor,
so is Gabriel. If we're gonna be honest,
who's Gabriel? Oh yeah. I'm sorry.
Get your head out of your ass.
We watched this like 2 weeks ago.
And so
I just call him Malignant.
Yeah, we should just call him Malignant.
It's like Maleficent.
Yeah. So
Malignant, love him.
So it starts with them like being like, there's medically something wrong. People are getting thrown through glass.
Yeah, it looks like a monster.
Electricity is going.
It looks
nuts.
like a ghost monster or something.
Yeah. So this is the thing
they're killing a bunch of nurses and
it's just sort of like this crazy thing, and then they say that they're gonna cut out the cancer, and then
this is immediately campy.
Yeah, and it's
so campy.
And then it hard cuts to like images of surgery.
Yeah.
And just like pretty like rock and music, like and then you're like, wow, this fucking rocks. And then open up on like the actual start of the movie, which is this woman,
a lady,
comes into her house and
after a long fucking day as a nurse. Shout out to our healthcare heroes.
Yes, and she is pregnant and she has been working
on her feet.
Yeah, and she is tired.
She's so tired.
She's just so tired, and she goes in and her fucking stupid boyfriend,
who is played by the guy who plays Sam and Dean's a secret brother on Supernatural.
Secret brother. And
he is a secret brother because John Winchester had an affair. And then he had to go. He was locked in hell with Lucifer.
Thank you for transitioning to our new podcast where we just talk about Supernatural.
Where you don't watch any of the episodes, and I explain the episodes
just
to
one
you.
by one we go through. No, but so he's sitting on the fucking bed or whatever.
Yeah,
he's
watching MMA.
So already
Which
like,
is such
what a
choice.
tool.
Yeah,
what
you're
a
like,
tool.
fuck this guy.
And
no disrespect, but also like some disrespect.
yeah, you're watching people beat each other half to death. Some disrespect.
Anything Joe Rogan is involved in on any level, I'm gonna have suspicions about. But anyway,
so then
I'm sure it's an art form.
She comes in and is like,
I'm tired.
Hey, honey, can I use the bed? And he just grabs her fucking head and slams it into a wall.
You skipped a few things.
Yeah.
I mean, the escalation was quick.
Yeah, it was
because it's abuse.
It was like, holy shit, this is wow.
She was like, oh, the baby, something about the baby. And then he's like, he's
mad. Are you gonna fucking kill another one of my babies?
Yeah.
Because he's like,
which you think is like an abortion line, but it's just, she's had fucking miscarriages.
Yeah, total immediately. Yeah, the true cancer is this boyfriend. You know?
That was when I said the true cancer is massage.
And then he like grabs her head, smashes
the
it
fight
into the
escalates,
wall,
and we were
hard enough that it dents like puts a hole.
Both Nick and I like gasped.
Yeah, we're
and kind of like drew back. Like it was very violent.
There's blood on the wall. She's bleeding into her hand. She like crawls over to like lock the door after he's like, really, "Baby, I'll fucking go." He get
does
water.
an immediate
It does the thing.
I mean, is it a tasteful representation of the horrors of abuse?
No, I mean, it is gratifying, and then in the next scene, we see this.
It's not meant to be. It's not meant to be intellectual.
Yeah, it's not
meant to be like.
Pure. How dare you? This movie is a truly. It's a thinker.
You're right. You're right.
But yeah, so she goes to sleep with her head all
and has a crazy dream.
Yeah, she has a crazy dream, and we see her boyfriend sort of
just get fucked up.
Yeah, like the blender's on, and he goes over, and he's like,
he hears something in the house.
Blender on, and
it's a very slow exploration.
Yeah, which I would honestly, if I went into my fucking kitchen and the blender was on,
Nick was already like sobbing by this.
Yeah, I was gasping a little bit, and then like
it was terrifying.
And we see sort of like a black figure, sort of like running around in the background, classic fucking
Babadook shit.
Yeah, and he like turns the corner and sees a long-haired individual.
That shot was really scary.
Yeah, watching
Nick,
TV.
Oh, no, okay.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
What shot were you talking about?
I was the shot where like he kills him.
Yeah, that was scary. Yeah,
Nick was like, I've never seen like that level of reaction.
We should watch a real horror movie. Yeah, it's so scary because
we should watch
a real horror movie. Yeah, because like and the thing is, it's like setting this fucking movie up to be a ghost movie because
it seems very haunting.
I kind of understand why people get misdirected because like,
well, again, when would you even fucking predict this? You're like, oh, is this another tumor movie?
Well, okay.
Anyway,
we'll continue on. But so then,
but he kills the boyfriend like super.
Yeah, like grabs his fucking neck, cracks him up.
He looks like the lady in the cave.
He's a ghost chiropractor.
Yeah,
he just fucking snaps.
Are you still seeing the Republican chiropractor?
No, I stopped. I told him that I had to go on a business trip, and I just never went back.
And you died overseas.
Yeah, I don't travel for work.
Why did you say I have to go on a business
because
trip?
I am incredibly socially anxious, and even when I am paying somebody to do meaningfully nothing to me, I still have to make an excuse to get out of that situation.
I have to go on a business
I was like, madam, I actually have to travel for work. Because his receptionist, very nice,
and you refer to her as madam.
And I was like, and I don't know when I'll be back. Like he's probably like, where the fuck is he?
Is he an assassin?
Yeah, he's probably like,
is he fucking Jason Bourne?
Anyway, so next morning.
Is it the next, or does she get up in the night and then get chased by the guy? I think she gets up in the middle of the night and gets chased by a guy too.
Yeah, and the other thing is like the electricity. Not just chase. Yeah,
the electricity's affected.
Also, again, so she walks around her house. We're getting a lot of spooky vibes, and it's like, oh no, something's happening. Her back door is just open.
That's later.
Oh, that is later.
Yeah.
Okay, there's just a lot of times.
But again, there was no excuse for it because she's already had a home invasion where she was beat to shit. So like, there is no excuse for her back door.
Anyway, so yeah, then she.
Except, excuse me.
Yes.
So you're saying, wow, it's crazy that someone would leave a door unlocked.
Yeah, why would you lock a door when you leave if you're about to come back, Mary Ellen? Why would you lock your roommate out multiple times?
So here's the thing.
Woo, turn that around. Verbal judo.
You just made it so I was asking a different question than I was asking.
Sorry. What were you asking?
So it's like you would say it's maybe unsafe to like leave your door unlocked, just generally speaking.
I don't know if I would say that.
Nick is my roommate. Anyway.
Yeah. Good time. So we see her kind of walk around. She gets attacked by weird black ghost.
The same thing. Yeah. And then she falls on the stairs and hits her head.
Again. Which again,
we're already worried for her.
Her
that
brain
poor
is,
little scrambled egg.
Yeah,
up there.
Scrambled eggs in there. And so she the next day
and falls, I think, like on her belly or something.
Yeah. And that again made me have a kind of moment.
Yeah. I'm not good with like
there's a
babies and
there's a lot of fucking baby stuff.
Baby stuff
in these two movies.
Anyway, so she wakes up in the hospital and they're like, your baby's gone.
Yeah, and she's like, oh,
that part was like really
it's very sad.
Yeah.
And then we get a great campy moment again of her sister coming to visit a little later.
Too soon. That was later.
Too later. It's too late.
Too later.
Okay, so then it's been a while.
So it's been a while. So they're like, ma'am, you were attacked.
Yeah. And they're like,
and
how?
your boyfriend's like so dead.
Yeah, like his neck was crazy.
Like,
bent.
No one could I've seen worse. Not worse. I've seen ones that looked like that were in like a high-speed car crash.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck happened.
Yeah.
Basically. And
the
we are
murder
introduced...
weapon was a car.
The murder clearly a car was inside the house.
A very small car.
There was no sign of forced entry.
Yeah, which is like classic. Something's going on.
And we meet our two cop characters.
Yes, one which is a black woman. Again, classic trope, which is, well,
not classic. It's new,
but it's fucking stupid. That's bullshit.
Because it's like, no, propaganda. This one's good. And then also just a guy. I don't remember either of their names. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah,
Did you write it down?
No, it doesn't matter.
Cop guy,
and
cop lady's like a little like
she's
fun.
Like she's fun in sort of like a sassy way. Where
don't say sassy.
I know, but that's the thing is that it's obviously like that is the fucking trope.
She's snarky.
Yeah,
she's like old hat. Like I've seen it all. Fuck all of you.
Yeah, and she's just like, there's no fucking forced entry. It's obviously her.
Right.
Again, the director setting up some weird misdirections where. So it's like maybe not ghost, maybe it's her or something.
But we don't think it's her immediately because she got attacked too. So we're like, what? Attacked
too, and you're like, well, what the fuck?
And then so they're like, wow, this is so crazy. And so like they tell her all this, and she's in the hospital, like really sad.
Yeah, she does like a scream pan to another scene.
Yeah,
she's sort of out of it.
Yeah,
and her sister comes.
Her sister comes later in a princess dress,
in a huge Cinderella blue princess dress.
I like the sister. I like the actress. Yeah. I liked her whole deal.
I liked her too. And she just...
Honestly, both the actresses did great too.
Everyone in this movie, with maybe the exception of the male cop.
He didn't have anything to work with.
Yeah, he was just like, my role is to be somewhat attracted to this actress.
Yeah,
and
I think he did what he was supposed to do, which was nothing.
Yeah, which
like,
is to
go
be a
girl, give us nothing.
Slate.
Sort of thing.
Yeah. And so she climbs into bed with her and she's like, oh, hello, police officer. I'm just coming from a birthday party or whatever.
And there's
there is zero chemistry, but we're set
up to believe that there is supposed to be. And then the sister takes her home.
Yeah.
And she's like, you got to be safe and take care of yourself.
And is this when she like starts walking around the house?
And the door's open.
And the door's open.
Almost like somebody like in a really unsafe way like left the door open.
Yeah, which is unforgivable. Anyway, but also, again, this is a thing that we'll talk about later. Yeah. But the lights are flickering, and this is sort of a sign
of electricity.
And she like looks out and she sees a dark
figure.
Was scary. That was scary. Thank you.
Well, this was still the part where Nick was like pissing himself.
It was really scary. The first quarter to third of this movie is a genuinely scary horror movie.
I mean, it's very tropey because like you can feel the beats, know when the jump scare is going to happen, when the
which is great for me because then I can handle it.
You handled it so well. You seem so cool and chill. Anyway, so they take her back home and she has like a moment where it looks like a dude's breaking in to fuck with her.
Yeah,
the same little string bean. dark little string bean guy.
Dark little string
Because he seems kind of like bonesy.
But he has but he has a lot of hair.
Like a little slender Manny.
No, Slenderman doesn't have any hair.
Like a little Babadookie.
Yeah, a little Babadookie. Definitely Babadook.
Yeah, by slender
vibes.
Manny I mean like a little bean.
Yeah, he also climbs a lot.
Not like a small bean.
And,
like I'm just a small bean, ooh or whatever.
Yeah. Sorry, what was
I need
that?
to log off. I need to get off the internet.
And so she goes around, she finds a door open, which again, I would just fucking leave and never come back.
It's like, girl.
And she installs locks.
Well, here's the fucking thing that we were like screaming at. It's a classic, like, bitch, get out of the house sort of thing.
Why are you in there? Yeah.
She sees the guy outside and then she runs downstairs and starts locking her doors. And we're like, you just had a home invasion.
Yeah.
And got fucked up.
Yeah, like I can understand if you don't lock your door if like your roommate just went out for some candy or snacks. But if you are coming home from a home invasion, you lock that shit up tight. Anyway.
Some snackaroos.
Some snackaroonies.
Other stuff happens. Other people start getting picked off.
Yeah, then
and she
starts
dreams
having,
of it.
Yeah.
She keeps having dreams of this string bean Babadook.
Yeah.
Whatever, we'll go with that. Going around and fucking people up.
Yeah,
and
with
Nick
like
is screaming and crying.
Yeah, there's a great. It's also a really.
We gotta go to that Seattle.
That's what I was about to say. It's a great advertisement for the tour scene of Seattle. Marielle and I are definitely going to go to Seattle. We're going to go to the underground old Seattle. If you're from Seattle, hit us up. We will not come and visit you.
Don't be creepy.
And we're going to like.
I know anyone.
Yeah, I don't either.
Anyway,
but this like fucking cool. Apparently, Seattle was built on top of another Seattle.
No. There was an earthquake, and so they just built on the rubble. And so, but then they like excavated underneath, and so you can see. Yeah, there wasn't one Seattle and then another Seattle.
Listen, there's a full carriage down there later.
It's cool.
Yeah, it's very cool.
And I really like this lady.
Yeah, she has some funny, and she doesn't believe in ghosts.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, and then she gets fucking abducted by one, which isn't a real ghost, but we'll get to that later. And so she gets kidnapped and put into like the biggest attic in the entire world. It's enormous with that
giant fan.
An industrial size fan.
Who has that?
Yeah, I mean.
And so she gets taped to a wall like fucking Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, pretty funny. Yeah, she gets kind of tied up. And then this guy goes and like, then he starts killing the doctors.
Yeah, so the cops are like investigating. It's like, oh, here's the connection. They were all doctors at this one fucking creepy castle.
Yeah, and they're like, but that probably doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's probably irrelevant.
And he's
literally killing them with a trophy.
It's like best surgery trophy.
Which is so funny because the trophy's like a knife.
Yeah, and then it's like with a snake on it, and he's like, I'll just take the snake off and I got a fucking knife.
He says that to himself.
Yeah, he's like whispering to himself. Yeah, I mean, we're kind of spoiling it.
Yeah.
But yeah, he has also a whetstone or like one of those grinders.
Oh, yeah, he had a whole workshop. He had a whole thing
going on,
and he makes that poor woman just like watch him.
Yeah,
like do his stuff.
Which I mean, again, going later when reveals happen makes it hilarious. Yeah, because okay, we'll talk about it later. But
she's sleeping.
Yeah,
she wasn't. Anyway,
so these deaths keep happening,
and she keeps having dreams about them.
Yeah, and she can predict them.
And the back of her head keeps bleeding.
Yeah,
which I'm like, why?
Is a sign of something happening.
At no point is a doctor called. Like no point are they like, wow, you had severe head trauma and now your head is bleeding every day.
Every single day. Every time you wake up, there's blood on
your pillow.
That's fine. Yeah. Also, there's like a really great cut going back to how could no one predict this thing, where she like is told a piece of information and it just goes like, "Wah!" And then it just cuts hard into a cover of "Where's My Mind" by the Pixies.
Yeah. That's a constant theme.
Yeah, it's throughout the whole thing.
A little piano line.
Which was
really great for Nick because then I started singing it constantly.
Yeah, which has really made my life better.
Really, just the howling part.
Yeah, just howls in the night.
But anyway.
Yeah, and then the cops are like,
which I love. Honestly, I love. I fucking love that.
Yeah,
that was the little theme.
The best.
Yes, like because I mean, "Where's My Mind?" It's so beyond the point of like overuse.
Every time it happened, we just started laughing.
Yeah,
and it was so nice,
and it was fun. Yeah, it was. Yeah.
So at this point in the movie, the cops are like, "It's you. You're a fucking murderer."
Right.
Otherwise,
and she's like, "No,
I didn't do it."
Well, because she goes to the cops and is like, I dream when he murders, and I can tell you he murdered a guy last night. And they're like, this bitch is crazy. And then they're like, oh no, he was like, she's right.
Yeah, but also like at this point in the movie,
So
I guess you're supposed to believe maybe it's like her imaginary friend.
Yeah, or like
whatever.
a demon.
Yeah, or something.
Her.
Yeah, and so you're like,
because they start looking into her past. She was adopted, and then she
Mm-hmm.
had some kind of like weird, like pre-story
Memory
that
stuff.
no one knows about.
Yeah.
And then like when she was at her birthday party, she was like talking to her imaginary friend Gabriel, and everyone was like, "That's weird."
Yeah, and then Gabriel's like, kill
Kill
them,
your mom.
Yeah. And so then
So we think
we
there's like
have
a demon figure.
And at this point in the movie, it just makes a
Everyone's well.
hard turn into campy action film.
Yes.
And I love it. And you can really mark it when this happens, when the cop is chasing the creature away from a crime scene. And this thing is fucking parkouring all over the place.
It's incredible.
And is like they go down into old Seattle, the Seattle that they built the other Seattle on top
Yeah.
of.
Seattle 1.0.
Yeah, and like the thing is like pushing like
cars
at him and stuff, and is like escaping, and the guy
it's like acrobatic.
Yeah, and it's so fun
It's
to
very
watch
silly.
this actor have to process, and like, how would you feel?
He's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, he's like, what the fuck am I dealing with? This guy just jumped out of like a 10-story house and landed in a dumpster, and I was running away. Very fun, very weird.
Yeah. A romp.
Yeah, and then they come back and they're like, okay, well, we're just gonna like.
It's also, I will say, the beginning of that scene's kind of scary because it's she is still watching the murder or the attempted murder happen and sees him, the cop, and can't warn him that the murder is still there. That was pretty cool.
Pretty good. I had some moments of like, oh.
Yeah, that was cool. I liked that. And then it got silly.
Get silly.
But I like the mix of silly, scary.
And
spooky, scary skeletons.
Exactly, which is the vibe of this movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then the cops are like, listen, we're arresting you. And she's like, okay.
I get it.
And so they put her in.
She wasn't cool.
And then they put her into an interrogation room. And they're like, okay, why are you killing all these people? And she's like, it's not me, it's Gabriel. And then the phone fucking rings. And it's fucking Gabriel being like, I'm Gabriel. I like, you see me now, copperoonies. But she's in the room. So then you're like, oh, so it's not her. It's not her imaginary friend. Maybe it's like a demon
But we
thing.
learned that Gabriel can communicate through electronic devices.
The voices.
He can like take over like radios and intercoms.
The best superpower ever.
Because he can't actually talk.
Which I would also say is, well, he can later on, but we'll talk about that later.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He kinda does.
Yeah.
Does he?
He does. He talks. Okay, we'll talk about it in a
Okay,
second.
yeah.
But then they put her into like a holding cell, which is from like a weird moment in time where
It's very silly.
There's a woman with a full fro and 70s outfit
she looks
on.
like she's fallen out of a disco.
Yeah, but she's the only one.
It'd be so funny if it was like a disco themed party that everyone had been arrested at.
So then they're like, oh, what's going on? And her sister's in the mental institution or the psychiatric hospital.
Investigating.
Trying to like
Which
clear her
shout
sister's...
the fuck out to the sister. She was like the hero.
Mary Ellen, if this happened to you, I would not go into an abandoned Hogwarts looking hospital.
It seems like you're really ready to jump to like me being the accused murderer in this situation. Like
somebody keeps locking me out. Trying to kill
do
me.
my crimes.
So then she finds evidence.
You have a key.
So
I like the subplot.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Can you guys feel the tension in the house? Anyway, so she finds out that they were operating on a twin that was like on the back of her head and
which
like
they
had
call,
T-Rex arms. And like look it up.
They say it's like a teratoma.
Yeah.
But it's this thing. They're like it's a tumor, but it's like basically like a
it's a full body except for legs. It's like there's a head, there's a rib cage, there's little hands.
There's tiny little T-Rex arms.
Yeah, and it has like weird
and
like
it like
teeth.
screeches.
It's like,
yeah.
It's like a bat.
But it's like head is like a brain.
Yeah. And at this moment they're like, oh shit. And
it is wild when they show it for the first time.
I almost vomited as she reaches back and pulls open her fucking head, and there's another face under it.
But not really a face.
There's an eye and some teeth.
While she's in the prison cell.
And then she just starts
because you missed the build-up because they're like, hey, stupid, and they just start. It's so fucking dumb.
Yeah, and they start like trying to pick a fight with her.
I hate depictions of like jails that are
as like they're all violent.
Like, oh, these losers.
Yeah, and so she rips open her head and then just fucking starts killing everyone.
Yeah,
and it's hilarious because like the antagonistic like butch like woman who is like antagonizing.
Lesbians. they're always just bullying people in prison,
and she starts like being like.
Just throwing bodies.
I have to say, one of the most realistic things in a horror movie, she's just like, oh, fucking, starts grabbing people weaker than her and throwing them to their certain death.
Yeah.
And
shout out.
Yeah. And then she just kills everyone. She takes the keys from a guard who also she kills.
Yeah.
And then just starts... the action movie begins.
Yeah, while Gabriel, who we've learned is the tumor that lives on the other side of this woman's head, while he's in action, she is shut down for. Yeah. She is not like her eyes are closed. It looks like,
but her face is still like.
Yeah, her face is there.
So as this thing is walking backwards,
there's just a woman's face.
Yeah, there's a woman's face just flopping around.
I will say it was really cool because like. You can see this because we knew the spoiler,
yeah.
And so in the murder scenes, the murderer is going backwards.
Yeah, like
their hands are going,
and it makes it look really creepy and disjointed. But like it also is really cool when you're watching it with
he's the bad backwards boy.
Yeah, but also
it's wild.
It's wild.
So then it just becomes like. This insane tumor monster just running backwards.
Yeah, and it's straight into a Matrix film from there on because it's literally they may have used the same set from the first Matrix, this like wide open arch filled place, and he just starts killing all of the cops.
Yeah.
A cab.
And at this point I was really cheering him on. I mean, not just because he's killing cops, but you know, obviously.
Yeah, if he didn't want to kill like the nice people.
But I was like,
he kind of really.
I was not really on his side when he killed all the women in jail.
Yeah, and when he wanted to kill his mom. Okay, so you also find out that the woman.
Oh yeah.
We missed one of the.
She falls through the attic.
She falls through 2 floors of a house into a scene, which is so great. They're like, "Are you sure that you don't know who's doing this?"
Yeah,
and a fucking body just falls into the
iconic, absolutely, so good. Yeah, because they were hypnotizing her, and she remembered that Gabriel was trying to make her kill her sister, who is now the one in the princess dress who we like.
Yeah,
when she was still a baby.
So good, and
that was pretty creepy. The scene where he's like, "Cut the cake,"
and it's her,
mom's belly. Yeah,
so scary.
That's
creepy.
Effective. Yeah,
effective. Yeah, you don't want to. It's like a baby cake, you know. Don't want to cut into it.
Baby cake.
Baby cake. And so he kills all the cops.
Baby stuff.
And then the 2 main cops come in, and we see woman cop like really do some badassery.
We like the sweet little crime scene investigator.
Yeah, there's some like
we liked her.
It looked like she survives.
Yeah, it looked like she was in danger for a second.
Yeah,
but then she was fine.
Super great.
Her.
Yeah, we stan her. She needs a better taste in men though.
Yeah,
but she also likes them.
But she's also a cop, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
She's like the Dexter. Did you ever watch Dexter?
I did. I watched till season 4.
Okay. I just walked by while my mom was watching it, so I just picked up weird details.
Yeah.
Blood.
Sure. Yeah.
So Gabriel goes on a tear.
Yeah, so women cop starts coming in, shooting stuff up with a shotgun. She kind of goes toe to toe with him. Very cool.
Yeah.
He throws a wooden chair from across the room and just hits her with it and smashes WWE style, and she kind of falls to the ground.
So good.
And then kind of Gabriel runs away, and he's heading to the hospital. Here's the thing
about Gabriel. I'm kind of rooting for him because like it was fucked up what they did.
Be free, you know.
Yeah, like he was kind of disrespected. Again, I took it to a crazy level.
He also kind of from the jump wanted to kill though.
Yeah, he was kind of like violent and evil.
Yeah, so if he had just like not done that,
if you're born like fucked up and evil, you know what? If you're just like born like an evil little boy.
Yeah, but I don't think he was born. I don't think anyone's born an evil little boy, Marielle.
I don't know. Have you seen?
I'm so excited to hear who you choose to try to make this point. Come on. Well, who is it?
I don't have anything. Who's like an evil little boy?
I don't know.
It used to be a thing. Is it? You think it's the supply chain? Is impacting?
It's a supply chain issue. A supply chain Microchips issue. And evil little boys.
Yeah. Where are they?
Absolutely.
They're all like a dock somewhere.
So then they go to the hospital because this thing wants to kill its mom.
Yeah, we find out that once she fell through the attic, she didn't like, die. They took her to the hospital, and they figured this is her birth mother who gave up her and evil tumor because she was like, oh, it was a result of a rape, which is sad.
Yeah, and also,
and I was like so happy for this lady because she was raised in like a religious household that was like horrible. She got out and then got like a cool job as a tour guide.
Yeah,
I was like, yes, I was really pro her.
Yeah.
And she was like this baby just feels evil.
Yeah,
which I guess was right. But maybe it's like a Carrie situation where
that's the thing.
Feeling like the baby was evil made it evil because she rejected it.
That's Gabriel's whole argument,
right?
Where because he's in the.
It's really nice that they give him a platform.
Yeah,
like, listen.
Because Gabriel at one point he's in the hospital. He's about to kill his mom.
You made me this.
Yeah, he's like if you had loved me or whatever.
So it's like a Carrie.
Yeah.
It's like a Carrie.
And so there's a whole thing where he's about to kill her, and then the sister comes, and he's about to kill the sister.
And the sister goes, like, whatever your name is, I forget the main lady's name. Yeah. She's like, he fed off all your fetuses.
Yeah, which is such a stupid plot point.
He killed all your fetuses to gain power.
Yeah, from the back of her head, he like put a little straw down all the way and just slurped them up like.
Not like that. I think it was just like energy, like drawing energy.
Yeah, so he drew the energy.
You know when you just focus.
Yeah.
And you could just... Yeah, so anyway, that's why she kept having all these miscarriages.
Yeah, because he was slurping them up.
Her evil twin brother living in the back of her brain.
Classic trope.
Oh, and the thing that they did to him, like, they did surgery that made it so that he went away for a while.
And they just pushed the rest of him into the back of her head.
We couldn't get it all out, so we're just gonna kind of shove it in there. Yeah, just
like, that's okay. And so they're just like covering it up.
That's why he doesn't have a T-Rex arm still or anything.
Yeah, so he's using her
But
arms.
then when a stupid fucking asshole husband bonked her head.
Yeah.
That was, it reawakened Gabriel.
He was like, whoa.
But I guess he was still feeding on fetuses in the meantime.
I guess. I mean, it kind of falls apart towards the end on some of the specific plot points.
Yeah.
Otherwise, rock solid.
It's like scientifically really sound.
Yeah. And so, then she like kind of wakes up.
Yeah. Yeah, because like that was her like rallying. Like, he ate my fetuses.
Yeah.
I have to get because she really wanted a baby.
Yeah. And so then they go into like her mind box.
Yeah, her mind palace.
And they have sort of like a mind fight.
Because she makes him think that he's killed her sister and the mom.
And then he wins, and then he's like, I can relax. And then she like grabs him.
And she's like, ha 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 ha, bitch.
And throws him into a mind box.
Guess what? I made you think that you were murdering. You know how you did that to me? I can do that to you.
Yeah, and she literally says, everything you can do, I can do better. And then they sing that song. Yeah, which is kind of a weird plot point.
But. I only know that song from the shoe commercials or whatever. You know that. You know the commercials.
Yeah,
What is it from originally, Musical Boy?
Why did you say that? And so it kind of ends up with her putting him in a literal cage in her mind.
A mind prison.
And there's like a really disconcerting part where he's like I'm gonna get out again.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, you will. And I'll know
ready.
it. Yeah, I'll know that you're gonna come or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
what
the fuck? This is gonna happen again? If like you lose even a little bit, he's gonna murder at least one person.
Yeah, like you should probably be put like locked up somewhere. I mean, like abolish prisons, but also
this is the thing is that when we got to the end of this movie, I was sort of pro throw her in prison for the rest of her life.
You're like, she still did.
She still killed a lot of people. And could do it again. Has actually said that it probably will happen.
Well, how does she not go to jail?
Because the police officer likes her sister or whatever, and is like, I'll get you off. You know how
well,
police,
we don't know though, because it just ends in that hospital room.
Do you think there's gonna be a sequel?
I fucking hope so.
I will go to the theater day one.
Wow, midnight showing. You and me.
We dress up.
Yeah,
I'll go as the gold dagger.
Okay, and I'm gonna go as obviously
Malignant.
Yeah, as Malignant. Maleficent. And I'll just paint the back of my head with blood.
Or I could go as the sister in the big blue dress. That'd be pretty
Yes.
Fun. That would be
you
fun.
be in Sister in Big Blue Dress, I'll be
Yeah.
So and then it's like they're hugging and embracing the sister and the mom, and then the lights flicker.
Yeah.
And so we're like, whoa.
There's also a part that we skipped because it's kind of doesn't matter, but a man's heart is like pacer.
Oh my God.
Explodes in his chest.
Yeah. Because electricity is his pacemaker.
Did I miss something about the electricity? Why can he control electricity?
All it says is just he like feeds off electricity and he gets power from it.
Yeah,
but
also,
it's like a Pikachu
strong.
situation.
Yeah, or like a ghost thing. Yeah.
Yeah, but like how?
The sequel. We'll learn.
We'll learn more about the science, the backstory.
And it also kind of is setting up like a superhero sort of thing. But she's super strong now. She's like, oh yeah, I can do
she's
anything.
like, he was me, so I'm him, and so I can lift this really heavy thing.
Yeah, and so she lifts a hospital bed, which is not a great power,
and at the
but
end,
it's something.
At the end, Nick Fury's like, hello. I've heard about you.
I've come to recruit you into a very specific
Everyone
organization.
with tumors.
Yeah,
the Avengers.
Yeah, the cancerous Avengers.
Yeah, there you go.
So
great movie.
The best movie. 10
Loved
out of 10.
it.
Like whereas Old was a 5 out of 5. This was a 10 out of 10. Like
absolutely.
The gold star.
A romp.
I
spooky,
loved
scary.
It. If you're
fun,
looking for
a little weird.
if
There's stuff about the fetuses. I remember telling my friend Sarah Jane about the fetuses, and the look on her face is like
what the hell?
Just pure,
I will say that I did almost vomit when she was cracking her own skull open.
Nick Foley started retching.
And it sort of like peaked out and like, and then it sort of started just killing people, which was fine.
Yeah.
But
you're very sensitive to like there's like a brief surgery in some movie you watch and you like were very...
I don't like knives, which made this movie quite hard.
Yeah, there's a lot of stabbing and blood.
Yeah, it's just like tough. And there's like a lot of... Okay, so like if you're not into like body horror, I'd say maybe give this one a pass. There's a lot of it.
Yeah. Because it's not the
worst I've seen, but it's still a lot of it.
The killings are like intentionally like kind of gruesome.
Yeah. But if you're looking... Like before, if you're not looking to punish your friends, you're looking to reward your friends.
Yeah, like I need to show you guys how much I care and love you.
And we're gonna have a good time.
Yeah.
You sit them down and you don't tell them a goddamn thing.
Right.
And you put the movie on.
Yeah.
And you just enjoy them experiencing this. And they will too. They'll probably thank you.
Mm-hmm.
They owe you after that.
Yeah. So watch Malignant.
Yeah. So don't watch Old. Watch Malignant.
Yeah. Great.
Happy Halloween.
Yeah.
Happy.
I hope your Halloween is spooky and fun, and you have to check your candy in case people put like knives in it.
Or for apples, because they kind of suck.
You don't have to check for you'll know an apple when you're handed it.
I mean, it's good to check right?
Your candy for apples.
Yeah, and also
Nick has so many apples right now. Still,
listen, the amount of apples that are in this house at any given time is staggering.
See, apple picking is fun until you come home with the apples, right?
That's true.
Guess who didn't get any apples? Me. I was just in it for the experience, and I had a great time and no apple.
You're like, thank you for taking me. I had a great time, but I didn't bring any fucking apples home.
Yeah, that's how you do it.
I guess you're right.
Everyone, if you want to talk about your apple experiences.
Please, send them to Alyssa Caliente on Twitter. Please just
DMs are open.
just continually send her your favorite types of apples.
Oh my god.
What your favorite apple
Mine's
dishes
Fuji.
are.
What's your favorite type?
Macintosh.
Macintosh?
I mean, like Honeycrisp is like
okay, Steve Jobs.
Okay, Mary Ellen.
fucking
got him. So we're also thinking about maybe changing the podcast, like doing a podcast, maybe not, maybe doing something else.
A totally different topic.
Yeah, we're thinking of boring crimes.
That's not a good explanation of it.
But
don't give away my idea.
No,
just say boring crimes.
It's just boring crimes.
Just say boring crimes.
But if you have any ideas that you would like to, if it's like movie oriented, if it's not movie oriented, there are no limits.
Ever. Yeah. If you're like, Nick and Mary Ellen would be great at covering this.
Yeah, and if you're like, Nick and Mary Ellen need to never make anything ever again, also send that. Feedback is welcome.
I guess then we should probably know.
We'll take notes.
Yeah. Be gentle, but
Yeah.
True to yourself.
So yeah, I hope you guys liked it.
Whatever
thanks for waiting. Thanks for waiting 2 years.
Is it 2 years?
I think it might be 2.
It's a year and a half.
No, 2.
Because it was like the last one we did was like in January.
2 Septembers have gone by.
Not 2 Septembers. So a year and a half.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh my god.
Maybe a year and 3/4.
No, a year and a half.
Let's really dive into it.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. Goodbye.